The one thing I could say about Breen is everything he did was for a job that he was hired for. Somebody hired him to be that kind of buzzkill. Now, he seemed to really like it, but it was his job. What he didn't do was go on an independent crusade to ruin something everyone loved. You know, like this guy did with McDonald's French fries. Welcome to Waywut, your weekly verbal double take. This is a rabbit hole podcast where a couple of old guys do moderate to shallow dives into various topics, ranging from true crime, paranormal, sports, pop culture, or anything else that we find interesting. We drop episodes every Tuesday, and then on Fridays if we feel like it. You can follow us on Facebook, X, TikTok, and Instagram. We appreciate you joining us. Now that we got all this self-promotion stuff out of the way, here we go. Hello, and welcome once again to another episode of Waywut. My name is Darrell. This is my episode today. And here I am with the guy that cop blocked me in Cancun in 1998 because he didn't want to cheat on his girlfriend back home with the friend of the girl that was into me. All the while, his girlfriend was at home cheating on him. Jason.
Man, somebody seems bitter.
It's a good thing I don't hold a grudge.
Oh, well, you could have had plenty of play way before you even got to Cancun.
Well, yeah, but that one was my fault, and I ain't got time to sit around and blame myself. I do that as it is. With everything else. This thing I get to blame you on, because like that was a done deal. And you're all like, anyways. Oddly
you feel
enough,
better?
No. Oddly enough, I'm gonna go straight into a miserable people rant.
I wouldn't even know where to start.
How convenient. A while back, Jason and I went not viral, and I wouldn't even say bacterial. We went fungal.
That's gross, dude.
We went fungal on TikTok and Instagram with a clip from our episode, the hidden documentary one. So, the hidden documentary. That was pretty freaking fun. I mean, for the first time ever, something that we put out there had over 100,000 views. I mean, considering, anybody watching this on YouTube and you see how many people watch this, it's not a lot. Both of you. Yes, Darrell, I'm talking to you while you listen to this so that you get a view. We got a handful of subscribers out of it, a bunch of TikTok and Instagram followers. But the reason we put that clip out there, it kind of paid off, and it got people to watch and listen to that episode. I mean, that's the whole reason why we do the TikTok and Instagram thing, is to get people to watch these episodes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're entertaining, damn it.
Are you not entertained?
For the most part, I mean, we, on those platforms, we put clips from our shows in hopes that people will come and check out the full episodes. They really don't, even on the ones that do kind of well, but whatever. Also, just so you know, we also do silly little sketches, and Jason has mini rants on there every now and then. It's entertaining. Go look at it.
It's fun. It's fun.
Make our numbers go up so we feel like more complete people.
I have self-esteem issues. I need it.
But this one time, something we put out there did better than anything that we'd ever done. What we found that comes with our over 100,000, well, actually now I think it's like over 170,000 views.
Close to 180, yeah.
Yeah. You get a shit ton of comments. And I like comments. I love comments, even when they're critical. But the ones we got on that clip were just from the most miserable fucking people I've ever heard. Most people, were not just upset, but furious that the clip did not give the full context of everything we were talking about.
I want it all out. All of it. Right now. Right here.
There were even people in the comments that appeared to try to rally others to block us because there wasn't enough context in that clip. Now, I will admit that we've only been doing this for, about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And the TikToks, we've been doing even less. We hadn't done that near as long.
No, we're 40-year-old men.
Yeah. We've been trying to do things in various ways. And like the podcast, we try things out. We see what works and we see what we like. But the overall purpose of our presence on TikTok and Instagram and X and all that is not to become social media influencers or TikTok stars. It is to advertise this podcast and get people to see us there and come check us out here.
Right here. Not here or here so much, but right here.
Yeah.
Now, what
anywhere really?
Yeah, marketing 101. What is the best way to do this? You tease people. You have to be like a crack dealer. We want to give you a taste and try to get you hooked.
Just give me a taste.
Give you that first one for free.
Yeah, first one's free. So, yeah, you want it. That is a basic advertising strategy. Instead, we got bombarded with comments from the people that are the reason movie trailers give away the entire fucking movie nowadays.
Absolutely. Holy crap. What's the point?
If I see a complete synopsis of the movie, then I don't need to watch the movie. And which I don't go to the movies very much nowadays because they give everything away.
Yeah. Instant gratification.
Any trailer, like weapons right now, it gives you enough to be curious. And it leaves all these blanks that you want filled. So I'm going to go see that tomorrow because I want to know. But these, angry people that are super vocal and movie marketers apparently think that the super vocal people represent everybody. And so that's why most trailers nowadays are just like, here's the entire movie. Here's the good guy. Here's the bad guy. Here's the problem. Here's the part where he beats him. There you go.
So, is there anything else I can get you folks this evening?
Come to see it.
Yeah. It's like, no. And we're not going to do that with our podcast. And these complainers about this are so fucking loud. You would think that TikTok charges people per second to view videos because these people ranted and raved like we stole from them. I mean,
it's they watched. They're on their own accord.
Yeah. If you go and see, I can't even remember the name of that TikTok, but I mean, if you find us on TikTok, it's our highest viewed one.
It won't be hard to find.
You look through the comments and it is hilarious. I mean, there's some people just ask the question, hey, what documentary are you talking about? And I told them. But the joke is on all those loud sore heads because what we did was effective and it did increase the views on that episode. And also we got over 1,500 likes and almost 500 people that favorited the clip compared to maybe the 100 comments of people being complete pricks. So
Darrell.
The nice people outnumbered the assholes.
Yes.
I just come to the conclusion that because of this, that there are some people out there that just spend their day looking at the internet for stuff to bitch about. I mean, that's their whole thing. I ain't got nothing better to do today. I'm angry. I need something to yell at.
Yep.
And I'm perfectly willing and happy to take advantage of it because engagement is engagement. The algorithms out there have no idea if you're saying happy things or mad things. It just sees that you're commenting.
Numbers. Yeah.
And engagement. So bring it on, you miserable shits.
Just bring it.
Give us your comments. I don't care.
There's your short right there.
Yeah. We will continue to put up clips. Some will probably have more context than others, and we're going to be tweaking the way that we do them here pretty soon anyways, because we want them to be more effective. And with some luck, we will pull in more people that enjoy this show. And we'll go from dozens of listeners and viewers to someday hundreds.
Yeah. And maybe I get to live out my dream of doing a NordVPN commercial.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, please, one day I want to do it so bad.
I don't know why.
You see Jolly, right?
I do.
And Ollie on Jolly does the best NordVPN commercials, and they're super funny. And I want to do some too.
I've seen people do some funny ads and stuff like that. I don't know. It's one thing whenever you get monetized just for them running ads or whatever. It's another whenever you start sponsoring things, because then I don't know. We'll have to like figure out if it's like legit, because I sure as hell don't want to ever get busted saying, "Hey, buy this, dick growing cream," and then people put it on and it makes their dick fall off. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, we'll make sure it works first.
You're testing it. Now, dealing with speaking of dealing with miserable shits, it makes me think about other people that love to complain and ruin things, which leads us to today's topic: the world's biggest buzzkills.
All right.
Yeah. We're going to start with a fellow named William H. Hayes. Spoiler, he's not the buzzkill that I'm talking about. But he was a buzzkill in his own regard. But he ended up paving the way for a bigger one. William H. Hayes was the head of the Motion Pictures Producers and Distributors of America.
Man, that's a title.
Yeah, this later, they thought so too, because it later became the Motion Picture Association of America, which just recently became just the Motion Picture Association, since now our movies are more global nowadays. So they're wanting to make sure they can impose their rating system all over the world, I guess. I don't know. Hayes was the founder of the Hayes Code in 1927, which was a self-censoring rule book for Hollywood. They had 10 hard rules and 26 areas that they advised to be careful around these things. They wanted you to be careful around things such as crime, prostitutes, and being too detailed on things like safe cracking and dynamite, because you don't want to teach people the wrong stuff. Just all these little things are just like, be careful around that. Now, technically, when they first implemented it, the organization was not effective at enforcing these new rules and these restrictions. Everybody's kind of like, yeah, I self-censored the hell out of myself. But then in 1933, the National Legion of Decency was founded. It was a Roman Catholic group that began rating movies themselves as decent or obscene.
Oh, God.
One group of uptight douches deserves another. So they teamed up with Protestant groups and women's groups, because women around that time were on a roll. They just fucking got prohibition done. Fucking geniuses. And they decided to boycott movies that they felt were immoral and rally up all their little followers, I guess. This brings us to the main buzzkill that I would like to talk about here. Joseph Ignatius Breen. Joseph Ignatius Breen was born on October 14th, 1888 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I feel like his name is a spoiler warning on his life, that he was going to grow up to be a fun-ruining turd. I mean, if you name your kid, if you put Ignatius in their name, you are labeling them a buzz-killing nerd from birth.
What a nerd alert!
There's no cool person out there that's going to be named Ignatius. It ain't
unless
people.
Unless they shorten it for Nacho.
I am Nacho, the luchador.
Or Iggy.
Iggy, okay.
I'll take Iggy. He was raised a strict Roman Catholic and attended Catholic school. He went to St. Joseph's College. I couldn't find out if that was Catholic, but it sure sounds that way. But he dropped out of college and became a newspaper reporter. Breen began working for Hayes as a troubleshooter. I have no idea what that means, but that's what happened in 1931. He started working
Problem
for the
solver.
guy that created the rules. When Hayes got worried that the morality police groups that I mentioned earlier were undermining his authority and hurting Hollywood profits, he appointed Breen as the head of the new Production Code Administration in 1934. Where they had self-censorship before, this made the Hays Code rules binding, because the movie would not get distribution deals for American theaters without getting the approval of the PCA first.
Damn.
So essentially, you make a movie, they're like, hey, I don't like the fact that woman's ankle is showing or whatever. And they're like, cut that out. And they're like, no. And they're like, cool, well, then nobody's going to see your movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, okay, I'll cut the ankle out. Now, why did Hayes pick Breen? Well, he wanted the Catholic organization, the Legion of Decency I mentioned earlier, he wanted them off his back. So he made this big deal about having this tough Irish Catholic in charge. And Breen loved getting this role. He loved having the power, and he took, to cleaning up these movies and making sure they're less entertaining, like it was his life's work.
We got a high roller.
Which it kind of was. He strictly enforced the 10 hard rules. Now, I'm about to read them, and trust me, they only technically needed one of these rules. The rest of them, I don't care. No bad words or using the Lord's name in vain. No sexy stuff or suggestive nudity. No drugs. No sex perversions, which was their fancy way of saying no gays. They're like, keep the gay stuff out.
Just keep it hetero.
Yeah, but they called it sex perversions. No white slavery, which is oddly specific.
Say that again?
No white slavery.
That's what I thought you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like somebody's bringing out like one of those color swatches, and they're like, nope, take the chains off of this one. He's too pale. Yep, nope, this one's dark enough. Yeah, okay, he's fine.
Good grief.
No mixing of the races. Oh, okay, well, that explains the last one.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I should have put that one first. No
sex diseases. No childbirth. That seems redundant. Get it? Because pregnancy's a disease. It's funny, Jason. God damn. No children's sex organs. Why did this one take until number 9? Why wasn't
maybe they meant as babies?
No.
Like changing a baby's diaper or something?
No, they did not want to see kids naked, which is the one rule I agree with, but why wasn't it number 1? It should be number 1, because it's the only one that makes any sense. No ridicule of the clergy. So back to the uptight stuff. Do not talk bad about church, which I do. Finally, no willful offense to any nation, race, or creed.
2 things I can't stand in this world. People who are intolerant of other people's cultures, and the Dutch.
What? I don't know if you've watched some older movies, but I don't feel like they really enforced this one.
No way.
That's why nowadays everybody freaks out whenever they see Breakfast at Tiffany's or Gone with the Wind, or whenever Song of the South with Disney, and Birth of a Nation was pre-Hays Code, but they weren't very good at that one.
Well, it was the last rule, so maybe they just didn't get down far enough.
Honestly, like I said, out of all those, just don't show kids naked is the one rule that I'm cool with. The rest of them, no. Not only did he make sure movies were less cool, But Breen was also a Nazi-sympathizing anti-Semite.
Oh,
and not
no.
like the nowadays ones, like nowadays, you say something just completely innocuous and everybody's like, you're a Nazi sympathizing anti-Semite. No, this was back whenever that was an actual thing. He was unashamed with his thoughts, and there were letters written by him referring to Jews as scum of the earth. Before America got involved in World War II, he was very concerned that Jewish filmmakers would offend Germans with their harsh depictions of Nazis.
Wait, what?
So whenever you say Nazi sympathizing anti-Semite, that's what one actually is. that is a real one. So
you're going to hurt their feelings, hurt their Nazi little feelings.
So if any of our listeners have a septum piercing, which I'm convinced that's what keeps making people retarded.
Sounds like you may be onto something.
But if you have a septum piercing and you keep calling people Nazis and anti-Semites for, liking a blue jean ad, this is the actual definition.
Oh man, now that you say that, there's some truth to that whole septum or nose piercing thing.
Yeah. Thank God my oldest daughter doesn't listen to this, because if hers is still pierced, I'd probably get an earful. Breen never walked back this view until Pope Pius XI spoke out against anti-Semitism. So he was like, all of a sudden, he's like, Nazis are bad and Jews are all right. Which is just what you want from a censor, someone that's easily controlled by a large religious organization. It's like, yeah, that's exactly who I want controlling my movies. Breen was involved with the PCA until 1954. For 20 years, this guy got to make movies less cool, which goes to show you that even boring people can achieve their dreams. Following his retirement, movies quickly got cooler. We got stuff like Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, Psycho, and Some Like It Hot. Movies like The Pawnbroker got to have boobs in it, and it was the first movie with PCA approval to have bare boobs. Because before the Hays Code, you could have boobs in movies back in the 20s and stuff. It's awesome. The MPAA moved to the rating system that we know today in 1968. So PCA went out the window, and instead of it having all these little hard rules now, it's now the Motion Picture Association of America, which they'd have their people review it. So fun fact, they are still a pain in the ass to work with today, and they try their hardest every day to make movies less cool. They don't have to try as hard as they used to, because now the studios are really good about making movies less cool. But yeah, the way that the MPA works nowadays is if a movie wants to be R-rated, they threaten them with making them NC-17 until they get whatever stupid changes they want. Like, you say cock 18 times, you need to get rid of at least 2 cocks. Okay, that's going to make a difference.
Which 2 cocks?
Movies that want to be PG-13 get threatened to be made R unless changes are made. That's why it's been established that PG-13 movies get 1 fuck. Let's say fuck 1 time. Which is okay.
So Jerry Maguire would not fall into that category.
And all this is about selling tickets, because movies that want to be PG-13, they want to be PG-13 because that sells more tickets than an R rating. And an R rating sells more tickets than an NC-17 film. So the censors in Hollywood still have plenty of power, because distribution companies are less likely to distribute a movie that doesn't have an MPA rating, and theaters are also less likely to show something that the MPA calls NC-17.
Yeah,
it's usually only
any theaters do that.
It's your art house. Now, regular theaters will show NC-17. They just won't. It'll be late at night and on one screen. But like independent theaters, like your art house ones and stuff, ones where you can go watch independent films, they'll show unrated movies that didn't go through the MPA because they care a bit more about the art form than
the rating. Yeah.
With all that being said, they still have less power than they did back then. Unfortunately, it didn't help too much because most movies nowadays are very lame. But that's because they're pumped out in an assembly line that builds scripts based on market research instead of good stories. But that's a rant for another day.
Can't wait to hear that one.
Yeah. The one thing I could say about Breen is everything he did was for a job that he was hired for. Somebody hired him to be that kind of buzzkill. Now, he seemed to really like it, but it was his job. What he didn't do was go on an independent crusade to ruin something everyone loved. You know, like this guy did with McDonald's French fries.
Uh-oh.
Phil Sokolof was born in Omaha, Nebraska in 1921. Go figure that a guy that wanted to make the world a little bit more bland was born in Nebraska.
It had to do with corn. Yeah. I'm jealous.
Yeah, I'm not worried about talking shit about Nebraska. First, no one listens to us in Nebraska. On our little map where I get to see everything, the dot's never in Nebraska. And second, if anyone in Nebraska actually listened to us, they would probably agree. They'd probably be like, yeah, we're pretty boring.
Yeah.
Phil was a self-made millionaire after opening a manufacturing company. He suffered a major heart attack in 1966. Phil was stunned with his brush with death. He exercised regularly. He felt little stress, which I found kind of surprising for a business owner. I always understood that's one of the most stressful things ever. And he also ate heartily, hot dogs, hamburgers, tamales, and other hearty foods all the time.
Those are the best.
Maybe that had something to do with it.
Ding, 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 ding.
Well, once the 80s rolls around, he starts the National Heart Savers Association because his, manufacturer business owner research led him to believe that his high-fat diet led to increased cholesterol and his eventual heart attack that nearly killed him. Phil used the millions of dollars that he made from his business to push companies away from using beef tallow and tropical oils like coconut and palm oil that were higher in fat. He also targeted the dairy industry with large ads saying 2% milk is not low-fat milk. Over the years, after selling his company, he would spend $15 million, including purchasing a Super Bowl ad in the 2000 Super Bowl to fight fat and cholesterol. But the thing he's remembered the most for is ruining McDonald's French fries.
Why, God, why?
For years, McDonald's used a mixture of beef tallow and vegetable oil to make their fries. He would buy ads in papers directing the ads at McDonald's, telling them that their hamburgers have too much fat or saying, we can't continue to deep fry our children's health. Okay. In 1990, McDonald's moved to a French fry recipe that was 100% vegetable oil, and the people wept. The really fun thing is that the new recipe was high in trans fat. These increase your LDL cholesterol and make heart disease more likely. The FDA banned the use of partially hydrogenated oils because they are the primary source of trans fats.
Are those fats, I think there's something else?
Now that was funny.
No. His crusade was an absolute failure. Which anytime you target something specific like that like this is the one bad guy, instead of saying moderation, you're an idiot. Sorry. McDonald's still uses a blend of oils and vegan beef flavoring salt, which I hate saying that.
Don't say those two words together.
Well, it's because they want their fries to be vegan. But anyone who was around before 1990 knows that it's not the same. The reality of it is, beef tallow isn't healthy to eat all the time, but neither are seed oils, McDonald's in general, sugar, or pretty much anything else is not healthy to eat all the time.
True.
Having a whole lot of anything is just a bad idea.
Well, even water can kill you if you drink too much of it.
True. Furthermore, anytime people advocate for one thing as a problem, like I was saying earlier, they are not solving the problem. All they are doing is ruining that one thing that you should be able to be allowed to have every once in a while. They're just taking away that treat, and they're jerks. It's bad behaviors and habits that are the source of obesity, diabetes, and the heart disease epidemic. People trying to find one source or trying to simplify a problem. The simplify problem that no matter what you do, it's not going to have a simple solution. As a fat man, I know that's not the case, as much as I wish it was. I wish that I could just take a pill and eat whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you that pill would probably give me asshole cancer or make me like grow a dick out of my nose. And so it would be worth it. If you want to actually fight heart disease and obesity and all that, you have to eat right. You have to exercise. You have to make sure that you are burning more than you're taking in, or at least being balanced if you want to maintain. So even though McDonald's denies it, we have fries with less flavor, and we can all thank Phil Sokolof, the Buzzkill.
Thanks, to hell, Phil. Yeah.
He's dead now.
Getting bent.
Our final enemy of fun is a guy that I really, 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 really don't like. Let me introduce you to Jack Thompson.
No,
this Buzzkill. You don't even know why yet.
You just said you didn't like him, so go to hell, Jack.
You'll be saying it on your own by the end. This Buzzkill was born in Cleveland, Ohio. You know, the land that fun forgot. Just kidding, Ohio. I enjoyed Columbus. Well, at least
I like the Miz.
Well, and I enjoyed the casino near Columbus, technically. I mean, the actual Columbus itself, there's, okay, whatever. All right. Well, Jack attended Denison University, where he hosted a political talk show on the college radio station. And I guess that's whenever he realized that he loves attention. He went on to get his law degree at Vanderbilt University Law School and moved to Florida, where he began practicing law. In 1988, he helped lead the charge for the FCC to fine the Miami radio station WIOD $10,000 for playing parody songs such as Boys Want Sex in the Morning. A radio show on that station, hosted by a guy named Neil Rogers, proceeded to roast the ever-living hell out of Jack, who then sued the station for $5,000 for each time they mentioned Jack Thompson's name, which was 40,000 times.
Golly.
That
$40,000 worth or 40,000 times?
40,000 times they mentioned him. And he wanted to charge them $5,000 each, which totals up to $200 million. No
more radio station.
He did not win that lawsuit.
Okay, good.
The next part is not a story of him ruining something or being a buzzkill, but I think it's just kind of a character reference showing what kind of douche Jack Thompson is. Do you remember Janet Reno?
Yes.
Yeah.
Play my song.
Will Ferrell played her on Saturday Night Live and did it really well. Well, she was the Attorney General in Florida in 1988 before she eventually became the U.S. Attorney General during the Clinton administration.
Mm-hmm.
But, back whenever she was in Florida and she was Attorney General, Jack, being the classy fellow he was, handed her a letter at a campaign event during one of her runs for Attorney General in Florida that asked her to check a box saying if she was heterosexual, homosexual, or bisexual. Real classy move there. I love the sixth grade tactic of here's a note, check an option. Now, I am not a Janet Reno fan by any means. I'm not even a little. But none of my issues with her have anything to do with who she wants to fuck. At all. Everything was always about her idea of how law enforcement worked and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, her response to this, though, was to put a hand on Jack's shoulder and say that she was only interested in virile men, and that's why she wasn't attracted to him.
Oh, what a sick burn.
Yeah. Sick burn, Janet.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm not a fan of hers, but that was pretty baller on her part. Jack, not being able to take a joke or handle being burned, filed a police report claiming battery because she put her hand on his shoulder.
Oh, my God.
Of course, the case was thrown out because it's stupid. Now, once the 90s came around, he decided that he needed a new target. He chose rap. He attempted to get Florida to investigate 2 Live Crew and NWA for violating obscenity laws. When they didn't, he worked with players at lower levels of government, like sheriffs and mayors and things like that, to try to block the sales of 2 Live Crew and NWA's albums. He did see some limited success in blocking sales, but he saw more success in what was probably his real motive all along, just getting attention and press coverage. Look at me standing up against rap. I'm such a good guy. All right, I'm going to go back and do another character reference about Jack. This one comes from the infallible source, Wikipedia. He would include a copy of his driver's license on documents he would fax, but instead of his picture on his driver's license, he would have a picture of Batman over his picture. He viewed himself as a Batman figure that was there to assist the police and clean up the city and all this. And God, talk like this, whatever. Another thing, and this is coming from a guy who wears clothes that have like superheroes and horror movie stuff all over it. I do that because I think they're cool. They are cool. He wore a Batman watch, and I can't help but suspect that it was a statement declaring himself being a badass like Batman, because he also did the driver's licensing.
Uh-huh.
The only statement that folks like me make by wearing, like my really awesome Halloween shirt right now, or any of my Spider-Man or Deadpool shirts, the only statement I'm making is I am perfectly comfortable with my immaturity.
Oh, you like horror. Yeah, you like what you like.
Yeah, I do not think I'm Michael Myers. I don't think I'm tough like him. I don't think I'm badass. Anyways, it's just...
That's a cool ass shirt.
I can't say for sure that that's what Jack Thompson did. I mean, but sticking your Batman's picture over your driver's license, kind of giving off that impression. Now, for the buzz-killing reason that most people that have heard of Jack Thompson hate Jack Thompson for. He attempted to ruin video games.
That motherfucker.
He tried his hardest to get Walmart and Sony to stop selling Grand Theft Auto 3, Bully, and Manhunt. These are 3 of my favorite games that I've ever played.
Yeah.
Now, as a parent, Would I let my 13-year-old play all 3 of these games? Grand Theft Auto 3? Yeah. The game's very tongue-in-cheek. It's violent, but it's kind of
Call
a
of Duty.
silly violent. And I know he'd have fun. Bully? Abso-freaking-lutely. And for those of you who don't know, in Bully, you play as this kind of badass anti-hero kid that's starting at a new rich kid school, and you do missions to get in with the various cliques by defeating the bullies in each one. Can you give people swirlies or shove someone in a locker or kick someone in their balls in the game? Yes, you can. But you do get punished for that kind of behavior. And more importantly, it's just a video game. Manhunt. No, I will not let him play that one. I love that game. I have that game on like 3 different consoles. It is super violent with a very cool story, and it's a load of fun to play. However, the game is about a guy trying to escape a snuff film that some rich guy trapped him in, so you have to kill your way out of a bunch of situations. It doesn't have the silly tone like the others.
You think?
So the story is just way too heavy for a kid that age. It would just be violence for him. There wouldn't be any understanding in what's going on. Now, do you want to know what's so great about all that stuff that I just talked about? That was me being a parent and making a decision. Jack Thompson was trying to make that decision for everyone. And that is why he is the worst buzzkill. At least in my opinion, because he's trying to affect shit that I like.
Yeah, eat shit,
then again,
Jack.
I like McDonald's French fries in movies. But, this guy he impacted me more directly. Anybody tries to keep video games from me, they're not going to be happy. That's not going to happen, and I can't stand up for it. He, while he was advocating against video games, he would attempt to inject himself into high-profile murder cases involving young defendants just so he could try to blame various video games.
Oh,
however,
that narrative.
However, it went nowhere. I personally think he was just trying his hardest to get a precedent in a criminal trial so that he would have a better shot at getting video games banned. He filed a lawsuit on behalf of the victims of 2 teenage murderers that claimed that they were inspired by GTA 3. He sought $246 million from the creators of the game, PlayStation, Sony, and Walmart. The case, unsurprisingly, as all his others, were dismissed. I mean, and he would do this on like multiple times. He would just keep pumping cases in and just clogging up the system and just getting dismissed because they're all frivolous and stupid. Jack is the last buzzkill that I'm talking about in this episode because the ending of his story makes me so happy. Jack Thompson was permanently disbarred by the Florida Bar Association in 2008. The grounds were inappropriate conduct. That was because him making false statements to judicial tribunals and disparaging and humiliating litigants as well as other lawyers because he was an asshole. He'd been battling the Florida Bar Association for years, and they were so sick of him. They would like temporarily suspending him and things like that. And eventually just all this attention-seeking behavior finally caught up with him. And they're just like, nope, you're done. You don't get to practice law anymore. And the world rejoiced.
Yes.
The last known thing I can find out about him is that he now teaches civics to prison inmates. Which seems like an odd subject for him to teach, but he's teaching prisoners, so I don't give a shit. The important thing is we never hear about him anymore, which I used to hear about him all the time in like the late 90s and early 2000s, and I've hated that man for years. But yeah, and I'm very proud to say that he failed at every level, but the reason I consider him a buzzkill is, 1, he was trying really hard, and 2, it was guys like him that got my parents to tell me I couldn't play Mortal Kombat whenever I was 12, which they didn't know what I was doing at the mall, so I played anyways.
Yeah.
Anyway. And that will end our explanations on these fun suckers. If you're listening to this, fun suckers. If you're listening to this and you ever find yourself getting mad about something that is not physically harming you, just walk away from it. Ruining stuff for other people is just petty and makes you the exact opposite of what you think you are. A good person. Yeah. You're a bad person. You are awful.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Let us make our own decisions.
True.
If we don't like it, we'll just turn the damn channel.
Yeah. If you want somebody's laughter ruined, have a kid. Now join us next time, unless Jason decides that we should change from a rabbit hole podcast to one that ranks his favorite definitions in the dictionary, going page by page in alphabetical order, and takes all the fun out of podcasting.
That wouldn't work at all.
Well, just in case. If that, doesn't happen and this is still fun, then he will tell us stuff that'll make us say, Waywut.
Yep.
Yeah, no dictionary episode next. Don't you do it.
No, it's going to be a good one.
All right. Well, talk to y'all later. Bye.
Yep. Later.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Waywut. This show's available on YouTube, Good Pods, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and pretty much anywhere you listen to podcasts. We love to hear from you. Please comment on what you just listened to, pass along episode ideas, or just talk to us at Waywut Podcast in our Facebook group or on TikTok, Instagram, or X. Again, we really appreciate you joining us. Come back again to hear about some stuff that will make you say, Waywut.